I watched my grandfather die 3 times before he finally stayed dead. The first time, his body went cold. The second time, black water poured from his mouth. The third time, something else looked at me through his eyes. My name is Kofi, from a small Ghanaian village that no longer exists. This story happened 5 years ago, but it began long before I was born. My grandmother told me most of it. I saw the end myself. In 1983, our village lived in constant hatred with the village across the river. That year they got a new chief, Ose. People said he never slept, that his shadow moved, and that his eyes were completely black. My grandmother saw him once and said something in him was no longer human. A week later, Ose declared war. His warriors attacked at midnight, moving too fast and too smooth. Weapons broke against their skin. In 3 nights, half our people were gone. My grandfather Kwame was one of the defenders. On the 4th night, desperate and alone, he ran into the forbidden part of the forest, a place called where the earth bleeds, where a crack in the ground oozed red. He begged for power to save the village. The ground split open and a massive serpent rose from it, older than anything human. It offered him strength that could defeat Ose, but demanded a life in return, someone from the village, himself, or a promise to return and die willingly after. Victory. Kwame couldn't kill an innocent, and he didn't want to die immediately. So he chose the final option: I will come back in 7 days. The serpent bit his hand, filling him with power that turned his skin grey and his eyes silver. That night he fought Ose's warriors and crushed them. Then Ose himself came, transformed and monstrous. They battled in the center of the village until my grandfather overpowered him and forced out the demon inside him. The black smoke fled Ose's body, and my grandfather inhaled it, trapping it inside himself. The village celebrated, but Kwame refused to become chief. I have 7 days, he said. Then I must return. As promised, he went back to the serpent. My grandmother followed and watched him offer his life. The serpent opened its jaws and swallowed him. 3 days later he returned, looking human again. He said the serpent let him go because it couldn't digest someone who kept his promise. But my grandmother noticed things: he didn't eat, didn't sleep, and sometimes his shadow moved. Years passed. He raised a family, but something inside him kept growing darker. When I was 10, he barely spoke. When I was 15, he died and came back. A year later, he died again, vomiting black water that killed the grass. At 17, I watched him prepare for his final death. He made me promise: burn my body immediately. Something is trying to get out. When he died a 3rd time, his shadow started separating from his body. I burned him, as he asked. The fire burned black. I heard screaming, not his voice, but many. We threw the ashes into the river and never spoke again. My grandfather saved the village. He defeated Ose. He kept his promise. And he paid for it every day for 40 years. Sometimes I visit the crack in the earth. It's dry now, but I hear movement beneath it. My grandfather thought he could save everyone without sacrificing anyone. But in the end, he sacrificed everything: his life, his soul, and his peace. The village remembers him not as a hero, but as a warning. Some promises should never be made. Some prices are too high. And serpents always collect their debt. My grandfather's name was Kwame. I said it after dark. If anything happens to me, now you know why. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe for more interesting stories like this.